Hi all. So today let us discuss with the human respiratory system. In humans, the respiration is aerobic, wherein oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is given out. The type of respiration in which oxygen is taken in is what is called as aerobic respiration. So if you see the respiratory passage in the case of human beings, there is nose followed by nostrils or nasal cavity, followed by that is the pharynx region, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, alveolus, which is the part of the lungs, and then you have the blood wherein the exchange of gases will take place. So let us see what are all these parts in the human respiratory system. So the air that is inhaled will be taken through the nose. It will go into the nostrils or the nasal cavity. From here it will go to the pharynx region. So this is the pharynx region, which is a common entry for food as well as air. Followed by that, the air will enter into larynx and then it will come into the trachea portion. So you can all see the trachea portion. Trachea actually is present in the front. Okay, you can feel it actually. It is made up of C-shaped cartilaginous rings. It is made up of C-shaped cartilaginous rings. It is present in the front of the esophagus. So from trachea, the air enters into structures which are called as the bronchi. So these tubes which you are able to see, these are the bronchi. They are called as the bronchi. So the bronchi, we have the right and left bronchi, which will be further bifurcating into these branch-like structures which are called as the bronchioles. These fine structures, what they are called? They are called the bronchioles. So the air enters trachea and then it will come into bronchi, followed by which it will enter the bronchioles, and finally it will end up into structures. You can see the red color structures here, which are the alveoli. What are these? These are the alveoli. So actually the main respiratory organs in the case of humans are the lungs. What are they? They are the lungs. So we have the right lung and left lung. Whenever you draw a diagram, imagine the diagram, okay, as it present in your body, so that when you draw it, this part becomes the right part and the other part becomes the left part. Imagine that it is present within your body and this will be the right part and this will be the left part. Okay, but when you are drawing, it is vice versa actually. This is the left part and this is the, when you are drawing, this becomes the right and this becomes the left. That is, okay, it will be opposite, but you have to imagine the diagram to be present in your body and you have to give the labeling accordingly. So here when you see, we have two lungs, right and left lung. The right lung, when you see, it is little bit bigger compared to the left lung and it is made up of 3 lobes. Whereas left lung is little bit smaller in size because there is, heart that is located in between the lungs. And most of it would be towards the left side. So that's why the left lung is found to be little bit smaller compared to the right lung. Right lung has got 3 lobes, whereas left lung has got 2 lobes. So lungs are the main respiratory organs which will be protected outside by these structures. What you can see, these are the ribs. So our ribs will be there. There are 12 pairs of ribs. Some pair of ribs are the floating ribs. That is, they will not be attached, in the front to the sternum bone. So these ribs will be protecting your lungs, actually. So lungs actually, they are pinkish in color. They are quite spongy and they are pinkish in color and they are made up of numerous millions of small bag-like structures which are sac-like structures called the alveoli. There are numerous millions of alveoli that will be present within your lungs. So these alveoli, presence of alveoli will increase the surface area for respiration actually. It will facilitate for better respiration, for which we are provided with numerous alveoli within our lungs. So there are numerous alveoli that will be present like this. So this is the right lung and this is the left lung. So if you see the passage once again, nose leads to nostrils, pharynx, larynx, which is also called the voice box. Larynx is also called the voice box. Followed by this, we have the trachea, as I said. So it will have C-shaped cartilaginous rings. If they are not present, what will happen? Our trachea will flap like this. So in order to prevent, the flapping process of trachea, it is supported by the cartilaginous rings there. Then followed by that, you have the bronchi, the right and left bronchi, and further it will bifurcate into bronchioles, which will end up in these sac-like structures which are called alveoli. You can see the alveoli clusters, how they look like at the end of the bronchioles on each side. And we have drawn the ribs there. Then now Let us see how the gaseous exchange will actually take place at the level of alveoli. At alveoli, actually, what is happening? The air, whatever you have inhaled, has passed through the entire respiratory passage, and finally, it will come to the alveoli or the alveolus. Okay, the singular is alveolus. So, there actually the gaseous exchange will happen. So, let us observe how the gaseous exchange takes place near the alveolus. I have drawn a single alveolus here. So, the air that has come near it is rich in oxygen. The air that has come near the alveolus, each alveolus would be rich in oxygen, and the blood what is present around the alveolus, each alveolus will be surrounded by numerous blood capillaries. Lot of blood capillaries will be there, which will be having more of carbon dioxide in it. That is, from our body, whatever the carbon dioxide that is all present, which has to be eliminated, will come into these blood capillaries around each of the alveolus. So, each of the alveolus will be surrounded by blood capillaries, which will be rich in carbon dioxide. This blood which is there will be rich in carbon dioxide, and the air whatever that has come into contact with the alveolus will be rich in oxygen. So, because of the simple process of diffusion, what will happen? Our blood is having more carbon dioxide, inhaled air is having more oxygen. So, in the process of diffusion, the gaseous molecules move from high concentration to low concentration. So, in the inhaled air, which is having high amount of oxygen, the oxygen will be taken inside the blood there, and our blood, which is having more carbon dioxide, will give out the carbon dioxide into the alveolus. So, like that, from all the alveolus, the carbon dioxide that is there will be collected, and then it will be sent again out through the same route, that is through the bronchioles, bronchi. You can come back. So, that's why we have put a reversible symbol there. That is, the pathway through which oxygen is entering into our system is the pathway through which even the carbon dioxide will exit our system during the exhalation process. So, like this, the gaseous exchange will take place at the alveolus level, and oxygen will be dragged into our blood, and carbon dioxide is pushed out of our blood. This is how the gaseous exchange will take place at the level of alveolus, and this is very, very important from examination point of view. Several questions will be asked. Now, actually, there is a question as to how actually only oxygen molecules are selectively entering our system is the question. We know that air is a mixture of gases. Air not only contains oxygen as 21%, it has got carbon dioxide 0.038%, and nitrogen is 78%, and it has got water vapor, humidity, dust particles. So many things are present in the air. So, when that air is passing through all this respiratory passage, and when it is reaching the alveolus, how only selectively oxygen is entering your system, and why we define respiration as only intake of oxygen molecules and giving out of carbon dioxide molecules. When we know that actually air is a mixture of gases, how the selective absorption of oxygen is taking place is the question. So, keep guessing. I'll just give the answer. So hope you know. Actually, we have learned this in our all lower classes. What is the main component which will be helping in selective absorption of oxygen from the air is the next part. I will be giving the answer. Keep guessing.